Hey, how are you today? It is Friday, and I'm wanting to share something with you, an experience where some head knowledge for me came into actual action. So yesterday was our 15th wedding anniversary, and with it being quarantine and nothing is normal right now. The kids had a dentist appointment, and long story, we keep our dentist in Indianapolis, so it's about a 2-hour drive from door to door. And yesterday was that day, so we had to reschedule for yesterday. So we went ahead and just decided to go as a family to Indianapolis. And the problem came when I'm like, hey, let's go to St. Elmo's, or let's go have Mexican food or something, just kind of what we were used to, just like a comfort thing, right? And that wasn't an option because of the quarantine. So we ate breakfast around 6:30 yesterday morning, and then by 1 we are starving, like stomachs growling. The kids are like mad that we haven't eaten yet. I mean, they're good about it, but we could not find anything open that didn't have crazy long lines. So we left Indianapolis and started heading back home, and I realized, like, hey, we haven't had White Castle in a while. And White Castle, the only one I can think of, I have one that's just a few miles north of here, but it's not convenient to get to. And I think there's one going south on 75 towards Cincinnati. I'm not 100% sure, but it's not as prevalent as it is in Indianapolis, okay? So I'm like, hey, let's just go get White Castle. So we did. We got White Castle for all of us, and we got, Dalen and I ate the chicken sandwiches. I had 4 of them, which was like 700 some calories, but whatever. I enjoyed myself, and I had a few of the onion petals and things like that, and then we had, I had got coffee from Starbucks. So the food I chose, I just wanted to like say this. So there is a thing called inflammatory foods and anti-inflammatory foods. And if you are diabetic or have heart disease or things like that, you've probably heard of these terminologies. And if you're not, or you maybe have a loved one that has, you've maybe heard maybe in passing, or you've seen articles online about inflammation and stuff. And I know that certain foods cause inflammation. So the inflammation in our gut, or goes to our guts, and then like when that happens, our body like starts fighting that inflammation, as we're digesting it. And we get up the next morning, like this morning for me today, I did not want to get up. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to move. I literally wanted to sit on the couch in a blanket, and it was like way too hot for me anyway, but I wanted to sit on the couch with a blanket and just not move. And I realized, it dawned on me, what happened? Yesterday I had all the energy. The day before I had energy. I was taking care of my sleep. Like there was nothing wrong except the inflammatory foods yesterday I ate. Again, it's not bad. I fit it in my, calculator. Everything was fine. I didn't overeat or anything, and it wasn't a bad choice. But that's what the consequence of eating inflammatory foods are. Examples of inflammatory foods would be like, it's Friday night, let's just have some pizza and some beer. Or let's go get some wings and beer. Or let's go get some french fries, some loaded french fries, loaded tater tots, whatever it is. Some foods that are fried, or foods that are made with inflammatory things like bacon and cheese, like, the cheese food. So things that aren't like whole real foods and whole real fats. I hope that makes sense. So today, all I've eaten so far is cottage, because quite frankly, I wasn't even motivated to eat. I didn't have an appetite right away. Nothing was normal this morning. Nothing felt right. Okay. So, and I knew, like, I gotta work out today. I don't want to. Like, I'm having this mental struggle, and I'm sure that maybe there's something with you with work. Maybe like, I just don't want to do that. I just don't feel like it. Well, I want you to think about what you ate the day before. I realized I just told you I was going to tell you what I ate, but anyway, I want you to think about what you ate the day before, because today it would be so easy for me to say, hey, let's just go get burgers. Let's go order out burgers, or let's go, which has homemade burgers are different than restaurant burgers, because you have control over what's in that burger and how much fat and all of that stuff and how it's cooked, and you have so much more control. So I could have said that. I said, oh, let's just go grab pizza, because that's easy and it feels like, oh, I'm going to get some energy back. But that's not the case. If I were to order pizza today, even though I could fit it in my macros, I still have like, I don't know, 1,400 calories left. I could totally fit it in. I'm going to feel like crap again tomorrow. And I'm going to have this mental issue again tomorrow. So today I've had cottage cheese. I've had low-fat cottage cheese, and I just had some tzatziki and a green pepper. I know that sounds like that's nothing, and it really is nothing. But what I'm doing is refeeding myself anti-inflammatory foods so that I will have the energy and like get my mental state back. So with nutrition coaching, it's not always just about fat free, low fat. It's not all that. And it's not like, let's just get rid of all this food. It's understanding like I'm making a conscious choice to eat this White Castle, and I know how it's going to make me feel tomorrow. But I have the confidence that I'm going to eat well and still do what I need to do tomorrow and not allow that food to control me. So that's another thing too about food control. Your food can control you if you let it in whole different ways. If you don't understand how your food is affecting you for the next day and the next day and then the next day, if I just ate White Castle today or yesterday, today, tomorrow, and just added like pizza and like greasy Chinese types foods or burgers from McDonald's or, loaded tater tots or any of that. If I had just continued that strategy, I'm going to start needing, my body is going to want more energy because it's going to take 30% of my body's energy to fight that inflammation. On top of, I'm feeling sluggish, so I feel like I need to eat more, but I'm going to sit. I'm not going to exercise because I don't want to move. So it's like a whole cycle, and that's how we gain weight. Not from eating, not from the one day of having White Castle, not from the one day of having a donut, not from the one day of XYZ. So that is the thing that we need to think about is when you you need to start thinking ahead. I need to think ahead always that, okay, so for breakfast, I'm gonna have anti-inflammatory type foods. For lunch, I'm gonna go have that White Castle. For dinner, I'm gonna make sure I have more anti-inflammatory foods. That's called the sandwich method. So on a Friday or Saturday, if you're gonna go out with dinner, you're gonna make sure that you sandwich your inflammatory foods with anti-inflammatory foods. And if you would like to have any other any information on more in dealing with this, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at hello@cryingtomycheesecake.com. You can drop a comment below, or you can even just shoot me an instant message on one of my social media platforms. I hope you have a great weekend, and don't let your food control you.